Now, you 21st century people, of course, you know it, and we'll just mention it and join together in our information. When we say that the world actually, the world, all the world, is silent. Is silent. And in fact, the whole universe is actually silent. Silence is the basis, the basic thing. It is like the reality. Noise of all types, sounds, everything, like you hear in the background of a city and everything, that's just added on. It's added on. Added on. It's on top of, spouting out. But the actual state of things, the actual reality of everything is actually silent. Silent. You can find this, of course, you go out, you walk down the street, city street in particular, because then you'll hear more of the noise like you hear in the background here of city traffic and everything. And it seems when you're caught up in it, you hear the noise. But when you start being attentive, when you start to be 21st century, you get it. You hear it. The silence. The silence that you could say, it's not like it is, but we'll just use the metaphor. It's like under everything. It's the first thing is actually silence. A vast, incredible silence is the profound thing that pervades everywhere. Everywhere. Noise of all types is just added on. Added on. The basis, the underlying what would you say, underlying reality is silent. Silence. And the same is true within you. Within you. All that noise within you is just put up. You letting it happen. All that thinking, noise, that dreams of activity where there's seemingly noise or there seems to be noises, but actually it's just within you. And it's just added on. Your underlying truth and reality within you. The basic thing is silent. Silent. You know, you can go out, all you 21st century people know, you go out and walk down the street. For example, walk in the woods, in the country or whatnot, so that you get out and see for yourself. And you'll listen to what actually is going on. Listen to what's actually going on. And maybe you'll hear your feet clapping along on the sidewalk, or crunching the ground in the forest, or splashing the water at the ocean and the sands of the shore. And like you hear in the background, a person on the microphone is talking over and making the noise of everything that seems to pervade loudly over everything. But it is just that. It's pervading just temporarily over silence. 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 You move inside. From outside you heard all that noise and all that. You move inside. And look, there you can hear it muffled in the background. But inside, it's silent. It's like within you. The reality. Silent. Now all you 21st century people know this. You got it. This is direct experience. So when you go out and walk around, you're not lost in those noises of thinking. Instead, you're noticing the silence. Because that's the truth. That's the basis. That's the reality. That's the real thing. That's what you're paying attention to. That's what it's profoundly you're listening to. You're listening to. And hearing is the silence. Underneath everything. Pervading everything and everywhere. And that silence isn't just on Earth. That silence is out there on the moon. When they send out those space probes and they've landed on the moon, they didn't come back and say, hey boy, you should hear the noise out there on that planet. Oh boy, it's noisy. Oh geez. They're just making a lot of noise out there. I don't know what it's from, but it's making a lot of noise. It's silent. When they went on Mars, and they sent out a probe, and it sits there and it runs around, and they listening, and they're listening, as well as taking pictures. But they don't bother really to listen because really, it's silent. The pervading thing is silent throughout the whole universe. It's silent. The bottom of everything is silent. Your wisdom realization is silence. Silence. Because all the noise would be all your chitter-chatter inside of thinking and talking and planning and making comments inside you. And the whole point is letting go, letting go, letting go, letting go. When you keep letting go, you hear the silence. You hear the silence. And that is the truth. See for yourself. Those of you who are just wondering and say, well, geez, silent? I don't know. Gosh, it sounds kind of noisy out there. Oh boy, you're going all the time. Or within you, when you try and sit and you hear, oh gosh, I'm just too, my mind is just making all sorts of comments. And dreaming all sorts of dreams, making up all sorts of stories. Oh, geez, I'm just a hero one day and a fool the next, inside you. But really, it's all made up. It's just an ongoing chitter-chatter. It's not the basic thing. The basic thing is silence. Actually, the world is silent. Silent. And that same thing is within you. Now, you're what we call it the awareness of awareness type of thing. Your awareness of awareness, your basic thing within you, is that silence. It doesn't have any, activity. It doesn't have any attachment. It doesn't have any thinking. It's just awake and clear all the time. It has nothing else that it is a kind of thing that we can put on it. Nothing. Nothing. It's silent. Profoundly silent. And when you get, as you 21st century people know, when you get a little more experience and get a little more regular, that profound silence pervades yourself. Goes out when you do go out walking in the street, when you do go to some place. What do you hear? Silence. You're paying attention to the reality, the silence, not the noise, not the chitter-chatter, not the stories, not the fantasies, not the myths, not all the fantasies of going on in the mind. Go outside and listen. To listen, and you'll see that two-layered, you can say, thing. The noise of city traffic, cars going by, people talking, all that kind of stuff of a thing. You can see it in the country. When you go outside and you hear the leaves in the wind and you walk through the forest or whatnot, and you're crunching, you can hear your footsteps crunching along in there. And you go, what else? On the ocean, and you can hear the ocean waves going in and out, in and out. All the time. And you really listen in. Underneath it all, the basis of it all is actually silence.